Hi
everyone, my name is Blackwell, and my name is Deshaun Blackwell, and I just want to ask you guys a few questions. How many of you guys have jobs right now? Yeah, a few people. How many of you guys are looking for jobs right now? And you guys haven't had any success?
No.
Well, I'm here to talk to you guys about jobs and interviews. I know it may seem hard during these hard times that you guys can't find a job, but there are jobs out there. It's just, well, or how many of you guys have had interviews but haven't got the job? Yeah. During these hard times, it may seem hard to get a job, but with these following tips, you'll be able to get a job. For one, well, I'll just say it. The application. The application is very important. When you're going to look at the application, you want to look nice, you want to dress nice. From a personal experience of mine, after I graduated in 2007, I went to AMC Theaters to apply for a job there. It was the day, when going to get an application from a job, you should dress nice. You should not look too professional, but dress nice and look clean. Because when I went to AMC Theaters to get an application, it was just after school, and of course I was wearing basketball shorts and flip-flops because I played basketball. I went to the manager and I spoke to him, and then he was like, "Do you want an application?" And I said, "Yes." And he said that, well, you don't seem too serious because of the way you look. Like, if you really want to work here, you should dress more appropriate and then come back and get the application. So I learned my lesson, and from then on, I always try to look nice when I go get an application. Also, when you go get the application, you want to fill it out as soon as possible because they could be hiring like the same day. And you should also be prepared for an on-the-spot interview. So they'll ask you like a few questions like what motivates you and stuff like that. And also, very important to bring your resume with you, because once you fill out the application, you should always have your resume to give to them as well, because that gives a little bit more information about you, a little bit more detailed information, and so on and so forth. Now the resumes are very important as well. I actually brought mine so you guys take a look at it. You guys want to pass this around? Now the resumes, they give a little bit more information about you. They shouldn't say everything like when you were born, where you grew up, and stuff like that. Like just the basic general information like what high school you graduated from, what school you're attending now, and stuff like that, and your previous work experience, and also your capabilities and your abilities to perform what work is necessary. Yeah. And the most important part, the interview. Once you submit the application and your resume, the interview, and you go in for your interview, you should always bring a second copy of your resume. From my personal experience, bringing in my resume, during the interview has always been kind of impressive because not that many people bring in their resume. How many of you guys bring in your resume when you go to an interview? Just a few people. And have you gotten a job since doing that? Yeah, it seems to be very impressive when you go to the interview with your resume. And remember, for the interview, you always want to dress your best, look nice. Yeah, just look nice. And guys, I know John, you're growing your hair out. I mean, you might want to cut it because I'm not saying like it's a bad thing, but once you get the job, then you can grow your hair out. And remember to be yourself. Like, the company is the buyer and you're like the product, so you have to try to sell yourself as well. And try to adapt to the way the interview is going. Like, don't try to be like fake or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, just try to adapt to the way the interview is going. And you should always express great interest in the company, asking questions like, asking the interviewer like how long have they been working here and how like they like working here and stuff like that. And tell them like you heard that it's a great company to be a part of because there's always more upward mobility and like stuff like that. And then at the end of the interview, when they ask if you have any questions, you should always ask questions, like the stuff I just said before. But I know this is kind of iffy. You guys want to ask about the pay rate, but you are going to be working for them. So you should ask, but you should wait till the end to ask about the pay rate. And don't talk to the interviewer person like they're your friends. You should talk to them like more professionally. And have you guys ever heard of the phrase 100 on 10? Like when they ask you a question like, what have you done in your previous work history to make you seem the best in the company or whatever? You should always like, don't lie, but like make the story seem bigger than what it really is. Like, I used to work for Whetstone, that's a furniture store in Rancho Cucamonga, and there would be people calling from all over the United States or whatever. But for my last interview at the Men's Warehouse, I went in and they asked me, what did you do? Like, how did you go out of your way to help a customer? Well, some lady did call me from New Jersey asking for a specific lampshade, and like, we only had one, and it was like upstairs in like the corner or something like that. So I actually found it and I had to like UPS it to her and get all that information. So like, just make it seem bigger than what it really is and stuff like that. And yeah, with these following tips, if you guys should follow these tips, you guys will be able to get a job. And that's pretty much it.
Yes, whenever you're ready.
Hi, I am Sarah Munoz, and I'm here on behalf of UCLA Wilson Medical Center. I'm here to speak to you guys about sex. So I have a question for all of you. How many of you guys have sex? Probably most of the class, right? Okay. So I mean, how many of you guys have already had like sex education classes? Right. And what do you usually learn from there, right? Like about sexually transmitted diseases, and mostly the point of their lectures is for you guys to remain abstinent, which we know that's not going to happen, right? So we all have like raging hormones and stuff. So the point is, I wanted to speak to you guys about a couple of STDs and some like birth control and protection methods. So the first one like I have is genital warts. Genital warts is a STD that you get from human papillomavirus. Most of the time, the symptoms are not seen, so you are not aware that you might have it. But if you do get symptoms, some of the symptoms are like bumps around like your genital areas, and they may itch and burn. For women, the genital warts can also increase the chances for cervical cancer. So like one of my recommendations for all of you is for you guys to get tested, you know, go into like your community clinics, or like even right here at Seaside, there's a health center you might go to. There's also the STD of chlamydia. It's also, again, not always the symptoms are like seen. I have like, it says that each year more than 2.8 million people in the US get chlamydia. And again, they don't even have the symptoms. So chlamydia, it could be cured. And during like, if you're going through treatment, it's best for you to remain abstinent for that time, because you know it'll just help you get better treatment. And some of like the birth control methods are like the pills. Are there any of you ladies that take the pills right now? Okay, well let me tell you, they do not protect you from STDs. They might help with preventing pregnancies, but you have to make sure that you take the pills regularly, and at the same time, like daily. It also has a couple of side effects. If you guys are not aware, there's like swelling, blood clots, changes your like period and stuff. And of course, the pill should be prescribed. There's another method, which is like a long-term method, is an IUD. It's for ladies only. They have to place this inside their uterus. And it's like effective about 99%. But there was like my sister, she actually had this, and she did turn out to be pregnant. So it cannot always be effective. And if you do happen to use the IUD and you get pregnant, it's dangerous for the baby because it could like grow with it. So, you know, it's a dangerous procedure. And again, it does not protect you from STDs. So I also wanted to ask you guys, like, I mean, how many are comfortable about like talking about sex and stuff? You know, okay, but most of people do get embarrassed and do get like shy about their personal lives, so they don't really like to talk to people or go like into clinics and speak. So just to let you know, when you go get treated or tested, all the procedures are confidential. No one's gonna talk about like your business. And there are some places that are like little to no cost, especially for college students who, I mean, we need a lot of money right now. And you could also just go in for information. Like there's many pamphlets you guys could grab. And of course there's like